We had the opportunity to sit down with some of the official selections of the Dances with Films Festival during their press junket. It was such a pleasure meeting these passionate filmmakers, and I hope you enjoyed the conversations as much as I did.
So Broadway Books is a bookstore comedy. It's set in New York City at an independent bookstore that is trying to stay open among the forces of automation, Amazon, gentrification, and all the absurdity that, of what they have to do to stay open.
Anna Karenina, Ulysses, Infinite Jest.
These are my favorite books.
You slayed all three.
Yeah, he definitely didn't read them.
The numbers for the Malcolm Gladwell reading are not looking good. All right, I need a street team to go out and get the numbers up.
It's because of people like you going on Amazon that places like this are gonna close.
Reading's dumb.
I personally love Malcolm Gladwell.
You personally love Malcolm Gladwell.
Okay, snob.
Who are the main characters of Anna Karenina?
Uncle Mike?
Have I read Ulysses?
You two call yourselves booksellers, and you've never read Ulysses?
So yeah, essentially, Malcolm Gladwell invented the influencer.
What's with all the clowns?
That no question shall be phrased as comments.
Traitors! You sit up, you're giving off a bad vibe.
It was a dark day many winters ago.
No one lives happily ever after in a Russian novel. It's Russia, it's cold. I need you to use your brain right now.
That was my hypothesis.
So I'm DJing at this really cool club called Hell. You should totally check it out.
And it stars a bunch of amazing comedians from New York City. But it's a show that I created really for book lovers and with a really specific audience in mind. But I would say that, the jokes and the comedy are, like 30 Rock, are for everyone.
So I feel like the show has a sharp tone and a love-hate relationship with literary snobbery, yes. Right? So what inspired you to set this story inside a struggling independent bookstore?
Well, for me, it comes a little bit from my own experiences. So, like many people before me, I moved to New York to try to be a writer. I moved for a degree in writing, and my very first job when I landed was at an independent bookstore. So actually the bookstore where we shot the episode, Book Culture, on the Upper West Side. So while I was there selling books, I observed this community of like students, professors, and just like everyone from the neighborhood coming in to buy books and what their questions were. And at the time I thought, this could really be a great setting for a show. Like there's just so many layers to play with here. So that was where the initial inspiration came from.
What's like the hope for what audiences take from this story?
Yeah. I think I just really wanted to create, for me, connecting with independent culture, indie film, indie music, readers. Like, it was just so important for me growing up, and that was how I found a lot of my greatest friends and my people. So visualizing this show, I think it would have its own natural community, and I just wanted to create something that audiences would look at and be like, that's my show. Like, that show really gets me. And there's a couple of, in the show, there's quite a few, hyper-specific references to things. If you know it, you know it. And I thought some people would feel particularly seen by that, as I would have if I were watching.
Can I ask what your favorite book or book series is?
Yeah. So I'm a big fan of short stories, for the New Yorker and all those writers that you see. My favorite book is by a writer named Deborah Eisenberg. She's probably one of the greatest short story writers of all time. But for me, what I love about short stories is really just how entertaining you have to be on the line level. Just like a comedy, everything counts, every moment, every word. So.
What was the biggest challenge while filming this?
Yeah. So our biggest challenge was that we shot overnight, 4 nights in a row. I was very set on this particular location because I had worked there. I had the map of it in my head, but also, you'll see in the episode, it just naturally looks like a stage already. So almost like a sitcom set, ready to go. But because they were one of the bigger bookstores in New York, they said, we really can't closed down for you. You can just shoot the hours that we're not open, so 10 p.m. to almost 10 a.m. the following morning. So, the challenges were just everyone being loopy from sleep deprivation, but in a way that was kind of a good bonding experience.
Yeah, I noticed like how much detail was in, because it was just, so you didn't change anything about the bookstore, it was just as is.
It was almost as is. We swapped out some art. We were thoughtful about like if there's a book in the shot at someone's face, like what is it like?
Oh, right.
But we didn't have to build anything. No, not really.
That's amazing. Like I was just blown away by how much life is already just visually there, and then like the characters just added to it, and I feel like every character has such a specific personality and specific relationships, and I feel like it's a great setup, So have you started filming any of the other episodes, or is this like a proof of concept?
Yeah. This is very much a proof of concept. I've got the first season arc mapped out, but we haven't created it yet. I think we're definitely after finding our audience and someone who would, love the show and help us make more. But yeah.
What's your writing process like? Because you are a writer, right? So was it any different writing a pilot episode or?
So I wrote Broadway Books through the Upright Citizens Brigade. Comedy writing, and I actually found it incredibly refreshing after trying for many years and many drafts to write a novel where I was just alone in a room writing, and it felt like the novel was like infinite and it could take so many different forms. But with TV, it's very structured, and like by page 3 I have to hit this beat, by page 10 I have to hit this beat, and just the challenge of making every line, or as much as you can, funny. I loved that structure, and just found it very fun to put together as like a puzzle.
Yeah.
So actually, I don't think there's a lot to say about process because it came to me really quickly.
Okay.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to from start to finish the writing process?
Well, given that I wrote it in a class, I probably wrote it over the course of 6 weeks, chunk by chunk, and then a revision and tightening within that too.
What are you most proud of with this pilot?
I think that through its message, the casting, the moment it's capturing, I feel like we just created almost like this little time capsule that feels really special, that really only could have been created like in this moment in New York City with these people. I really looked to and was inspired by like the very first episodes of Saturday Night Live, when things were a bit more like shaggy and improvised, and how special that felt. And I hope that the show and what we created like kind of has that feeling too.
I think it really does. I love that. I love the world that you've created, and I wish you the best.
Yeah,
So
thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank you.
much.